This is how I made my pot of greed in only 2 weeks using materials I already owned. First, I wanted to get a better idea of what the pot looked like from different angles. I'd only ever seen it from the front on the Yu-Gi-Oh card and didn't really know what the details looked like from the side or the back or from the bottom. I ended up finding this 3D model on Sketchfab from an artist named Arthur Zaharchuk, which was super helpful because then it allowed me to see all the smaller details. Then I tried to make a sketch and figure out the measurements. I mostly eyeballed this, but what was the most important for me to find was the opening diameter, the diameter of the widest point, and also the diameter of the base. For the skeleton of the pot, I had been stockpiling a bunch of these frozen goods cardboard boxes, cut out a bunch of strips. Then I cut out longer strips and I used that as the height. I used a range of materials to stick everything together like painter's tape, duct tape, and tacky glue. Then I decided I wanted to papier-mâché the entire pot. This is actually all paper left over from a PDF pattern that I had printed and cut out, and this was just all the scrap paper left. So I decided I was going to use this for the papier-mâché as another way of upcycling this paper. I cut them into a variety of different size strips, but for the most part I kept them small just so they would be easier to layer. I also cut out much longer strips for the second part of the papier-mâché process because I wanted the pot to look a lot more uniform. After that dried completely, I covered the pot in a couple layers of Flex Bond, and then I let it dry for 24 hours. After it was dry, using a pen, I sketched out all the details, again using the Yu-Gi-Oh card as reference as well as the 3D model. After that, I also made the handle. I first sketched it out on some of the thinner cardboard, and I used that as the tracing shape, and I cut it out of thicker cardboard. All of the 3D details I used with foam clay that I already owned, and shaped it all around the pot. For the teeth of the pot, I used these press-on acrylic nails. After the foam clay had completely dried, I covered that with a couple layers of Flex Bond as well, and let that dry for 24 hours. After that, it was time to paint. I, of course, used the iconic colors seen on the pot, and I just used regular craft acrylic paints that I already had. After I was done painting, I applied a thin layer of Mod Podge gloss and let that dry completely. After it was dry, I then applied a thin coat of a glossy varnish. So yeah, this is how I made my pot. I ended up filling it with some candy for congoers to take at the Toronto Game Expo. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys liked it just as much as I did.